I'm your coach, Matthias Lidborn, and the topic of today is modern man and numbness. So in this video, I will talk to you about how modern man is disrupted by all the distractions in life in the modern society and how it numbs one's internal life. The Westerner thinking is primarily extroverted and rational, and the Westerner take predominantly his energy from outside of himself rather than from inside. And the object is that in which can be confirmed with our senses. So the more the senses that are connected at the same time, the more real we experience it. Although the inner experience of two different individuals may differ markedly, and today in age, the inner life is not valuated and rather forgotten. And people's thoughts and emotions are silenced by distraction. Few people appreciate the silent moment with themselves, because this is when the unconscious from inside creeps in. You hear a familiar voice that fell silent a long time ago. You think you're starting to go crazy, but you're not. And now you cannot handle it by yourself. It's best that you distract yourself a little more. Maybe you turn on the TV or check your mobile, but once the voice catches up, it is inevitable. You then go to the doctor and you get the diagnosis, depression. So the doctor says, here you have some pills. I know you can feel good again. And by this I mean you can numb your emotion and you can silence the voices that come from inside that are troubling you, and stop your fantasies from make themselves noticeable. And the fantasies that has been repressed for a very long time start to emerge, but now with the pills you can silence them once again. You may think this scenario sounds somewhat exaggerated, but this is a very common scenario for today's modern people, and especially for people who live and spend the most time in urban environments. It's like a new kind of people, urban humanists. You're not crazy to see similarities with yourself and this new urban humanist. You're a normal human being who has forgotten half of your being and half of yourself. And actually more than that, as the unconscious is the eternal and unexplored part of yourself. You can't help that you were raised in an unnatural world where you feel out of place. So take the building that you're living in right now as an example. Sometime in the past, this building was a fantasy and vision in someone's mind. And in the end, this fantasy emanated from the person's vision and was manifested into matter. The world is not dogmatic, but rather changeable. We relate to what seems to be true right now, true and what's experienced, and is empirical. It's not as many have come to believe that science is the ultimate truth. It's rather a process in the search for evidence based on a hypothesis. Science is amazing, but anything that becomes one-sided will have to be balanced by its opposite. Today, science, consumption, and various ideologies are substituted for the inner meaningful journey of life and to the more whimsical experiences. Instead of celebrating the internal, the modern society praise and worship the flesh in which is the perishable and in time will rot. It's the attention to pleasure and feeding of ego that becomes the goal and journey of life. That is alcohol, drugs, porn, material wealth, fast food, fast dopamine kicks, movie, games, and so on. When people live an oversaturated life and get everything, they eventually tear everything down. As I said in my recent video, the world of men, according to many religions, is doubt. Thereby courage and determination is rewarded, because you dare to do and trust yourself when you explore the unexplored. And to explore the unexplored is to experience the chaos that you go through in order to create order. Our age is infantile. outward looking, egocentric, worshipping the flesh. And modern man of today has turned away from a large part of himself. The majority of man is actually unconscious, despite the overwhelmingly rationality in society. So the modern men are more primitive than he may think. He acts on emotions, in affect, and seeks pleasure outside of himself, that in hope will solve the inner anxiety. So we live in an age that people rather react than act. The sarcasm in the society also allows everything to do and to be everything that it wants to be and what a certain person like it to be, because it's very convenient. That in which should be taken seriously becomes far too difficult, and the responsibility required can be joked about or just cherry-picked. The world is changing, but not everything. The qualities that create healthy societies and a meaningful being have often rested on the same foundation. Responsibility, seriousness, psychological maturity, and focus on the inner center where all good emanates, but also all evil. Hence the psychological maturity and the spiritual aspects that trigger the religious impulse is much needed. It's necessary for the one-sided collective to be able to transcend to a healthier mass. A mass that takes responsibility for its inner life. A mass that peels off the oversaturated aspects of life, that numbs one's being. This may sound harsh for some, but then again, modern society need more seriousness. This to be able to take responsibility for one's own internal life. What you do in your life is not insignificant. When you develop your underdeveloped sides, you really do contribute to a better society, and you may inspire people around you, and you will be able to support your family and friends. People need to challenge themselves and live much simpler and not with too much comfort. So deprive yourself from mindless entertainment, because it's very toxic for you. And life is really a gift. You come here to learn and to experience yourself and the people around you. Experience nature, life circumstances, and all the traits that you face. Start by doing one act in the brighter direction. If your motivation is low, do the tiniest thing you can come up with. It's better that you do something than nothing. And if you do many tiny things in the right direction over a long period of time, you will see that your life will change to the better. And by better, I don't necessarily mean richer or happier, though that is something to be very grateful for, but I rather mean to feel life, to experience life, to get a sense of meaning and be willing to stand up for your values, burn aspects of yourself that you dislike and explore, and what you're able to learn and accomplish in this life. In a world with extreme distractions, we often need extreme measures and great changes. I hope you found any value in this video, and if you did, you're always welcome to make a donation to me through PayPal, donor box, and also Patreon. And if it happens to be that you have a struggle in your life, you can always put it in the comment section or send me an email. I subsequently may do a video about it, but I will never refer to your real name in the video. If you would like to book a coaching session with me, you do that easiest by clicking on my website, which is in the description. My website is mattiaslidborn.com. You can also, of course, send me an email directly. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video if you found any value in it. And also, please share it with friends and family. And if you would like some more content from me, you can follow me on Instagram. And my Instagram account is in the description. And it has the same name as this YouTube channel, in which is Mattias Lidborn. I thank you very much for today. I see you the next time. Bye.